What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome back here today to another mock draft reaction video. Today we have Mel Kiper and ESPN's, I believe, final mock draft for the 2026 NFL draft. And I thought it'd be a good mock draft to react to today. I think I'm going to have my final mock up this Sunday or Monday, with the draft being right around the corner. We're almost a week away from the NFL draft, which is really exciting. And I feel like, yeah, Mel Kiper is the staple of the industry as well. And I saw a screen grab on Twitter of a specific trade that I want to talk about here. So at number one, we have the Raiders selecting Fernando Mendoza. I don't really know if I agree. No, I'm just kidding. I feel like I'm so sick of saying Fernando Mendoza to the Raiders. We all know what's happening. I'm sure Titans fans felt this last year with Cam Ward. I'm not sure if Bears felt this a couple years ago. I forget if guys were mocking like Jaden Daniels or Drake May to the Bears. I don't really think so. Next up, you have the Jets taking David Bailey. Now, this has definitely been more of the popular pick at number two. And honestly, I'm probably going to have this one as well. It just feels like all the intel and everything you hear from these analysts and guys that are tapped into the Jets, tapped into the agents and the situations over there in New York, are saying that basically Aaron Glenn likes the mold of David Bailey, that type of edge rusher prospect. I don't know how I feel about like the coach that could be fired in a year from now making this decision. I mean, if it's Darren Mucci's decision and he likes David Bailey as well, sure. But if he's going to be a Aaron Glenn type guy, and then who knows if there's a new offensive guy that comes in 2027, it scares me a little bit. It's more of a project, you could say, but also could see somebody that could make an immediate impact. I mean, this team took Will McDonald a couple years ago. Hasn't probably worked out to their vision since drafting him, and what he could be as a breakout guy last year kind of was underwhelming. They traded away Jermaine Johnson, another former first-round edge rusher. Didn't really work out too much, but he had the injuries towards the end of his Jets career this offseason. So we'll see what they end up doing. At number two, I feel like it's the Cardinals at three. I mean, that sets up Arvell Reese perfectly at number three to the Cardinals. I think you just take best player available. If you're Arizona, you need a lot of things out there. And I think Reese addresses, hey, off-ball linebacker at the worst, something you can definitely use, but the upside of being an elite edge rusher, that we definitely could see the vision with him opposite of Josh Sweat moving forward. You have two premier positions, two edge rushers figured out for the next 5 years for Reese. I don't know if Sweat's going to have that lifespan in Arizona, but it could definitely be what you need as to have a staple of this defense. Because I do think the Arizona secondary is like not that bad with Melton and Johnson and with Williams out there, or at least some of those guys going forward. So you get Arvell Reese to be on that defense with, hey, a year two Walter Nolan that could be a breakout. We'll see how like Zaven Collins looks next year. Could Darius Robinson live up to the hype of being a round one pick? And I mean, it's a fun, like young, like you have Josh Sweat, who's a veteran, but then you have Reese, you have Nolan, you have maybe Darius Robinson on that defensive line. It's something to build around moving forward, because the offense like has talented guys right now. Like Francis Mainoa could make sense, replace like the Elijah Wilkinson role, or spot at that tackle spot opposite Paris Johnson. But like you have three good receiving targets in Michael Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., who you still think could be good, and Trey McBride. You have four different running backs that could be something for you next year. And returning James Conner from injury, you have Tyler Algier, you have Bam Knight, you have Trey Benson. Like, one of those guys could be solid. I actually think if the Cardinals did not get rid of Kyler Murray, this team could have been all right with adding like the top pick in every round. So they go Arvell Reese. I would do the same if he falls after number two. Jeremiah Love to the Titans at number four. I mean, I don't love taking a running back this high. I don't think the Titans have like a terrible offensive line infrastructure where it's like Esh and Genty from last year. So you paid a lot of money for Dan Moore. Fine, not like the worst tackle in the league. Overpaid, yes. Bad, no. You have JC Latham. What's his long-term position? What's his long-term value on your team? Peter Skoronski. Some other guys on the interior have gone. I mean, Francis Mainoa, you could just take him here at four. You could take Cardinal Tate. Yes, you take Jeremiah Love, who's your best running back since Derrick Henry, or at least your most dynamic and upside running back with Cam Ward going forward. I like Jeremiah Love on the Titans. Four, it's a little bit high, but I think you get Brian Dable. Such an elite running back, basically his Saquon Barkley from a couple years ago before he left to the Jets. Five Giants going Caleb Downs. I mean, speaking of positional value, just getting thrown out the window. We're gonna take a running back at four. We're gonna take a safety at five, and we're gonna take like an off-ball linebacker at six. So Caleb Downs goes five to the Giants, which you lose Cordell Flott this offseason. You have Javon Holland, who you paid big time money to last offseason. This secondary is still not great. You have Tyler Nubin, who you drafted, so I guess that's the Tyler Nubin replacement. You can kind of throw him out there with Drew Phillips, Greg Newsome, who they signed, and Paulson Adebo. Now, unfortunately for them, Dexter Lawrence is getting traded, I think. That's what everything like Ian Rappaport reported. So could they have another first-round pick? Maybe. I don't love that for them long-term. Probably not a defensive tackle you're going to take here at 5. There's no like Mason Graham in this year's draft. So you go best player available in terms of like positional value out the window. Yeah, you might rather have a premier corner like Mansour Delane, but Caleb Downs does feel like as like a downhill attacker, as just an overall tackler, somebody that can go sideline to sideline fairly well and could be an elite coverage guy. You're getting that chess piece. You're getting that Kyle Hamilton of your secondary. But would you just go Cardinal Tate here? Would you just go Francis Maianoa here? I know it's not a sexy pick. I would take Francis Maianoa and get hopefully somebody that you think could be an elite long-term tackle, protecting Jackson Dart. I mean, they might go Jeremiah Love, but he's off the board here in this mock. Downs, I don't know if that's exactly what the Giants need. So we have a Dallas Cowboys-Browns trade, which is basically 12 and 20 to Cleveland. So the Browns are going to still have 2 first-round picks in this mock, and then 6 and 39, which, hey, the Cowboys dropped from 20 to 39, but you're guaranteeing yourselves Sonny Styles. I don't hate that for Dallas, because Sonny Styles ain't going to be there at number 12. I mean, in mocks in January and early February, maybe he was there at number 12 after the combine. No. So Sonny Styles, freak athlete, freak size, freak athleticism, and you're getting like an amazing linebacker for the Cowboys moving forward who can also be like an anchor of their defense. You're not getting like you're going to take CJ Allen at 20. I don't think you're taking CJ Allen at 12. So you're getting that tier 1 of linebacker in this class. Honestly, if he can actually be Fred Warner 2.0 or close to it, his value will be displayed with the 6th overall pick long term. It's a little rich. I mean, I think this is a 2-round mock, so I could see who they take at 39 here. I mean, the Browns, I don't hate them trading down as well, because like if you're going to take Monroe Freeling, I mean, if Francis Maianoa, though, is on the board, I would just take him. Cardinal Tate's on the board. You're probably not getting either of those guys at 12. So we'll see who they have at 12. Maybe it's Freeling, maybe it's Fano. 7, Washington going Cardinal Tate. I haven't really seen them getting mocked receiver a ton, although they probably could use one with Deebo Samuel leaving. You get a big-time playmaker opposite of Terry McLaurin, who's getting up there in age and might not be as reliable health-wise. I would love Jeremiah Love here. He's off the board. So you get the next best thing and maybe the best wide receiver in this class. If you think it's Tate, if you think it's Tyson, you should go with one of those guys at number 7. Obviously, Caleb Downs would be sick. You add Odafe Owe, you add Leo Chanel, and then you could add like Caleb Downs if he's on the board. Not. Are you going to add a tier 1 corner like Mansour Delane? Do you think about that? We'll see, but I like the idea of Cardinal Tate for Jaden Daniels. Number 8, we have Ruben Bain going to the Saints. I think Bain will probably fall out of the top 6. I mean, I don't think the Cowboys are trading up for Bain. You never know. I don't think the Browns would take Ruben Bain. You never know. Maybe the Commanders would, but I doubt it. So I do feel like Ruben Bain's going to either go 8, 9, or 10, and he's going to go 8 here to the Saints, opposite side of Chase Young and Cam Jordan coming back, but not getting any younger. So you get another piece for that defense. I would love another receiver for Chris or for Tyler Shuck. You're not going to get that there at number 8. I mean, Francis Maianoa is here. You don't need a tackle. You don't. And you probably don't want to move Banks inside, although just have an elite young offensive line, I feel like is really exciting. But you get Ruben Bain, good value there at number 8. 9, the Chiefs take Jordan Tyson. I think this was mocked by Peter Schrager as well. So this might actually be a match made in heaven for these two teams or for these two parties, because you get a wide receiver 1 for Patrick Mahomes. You can't trust Rashee Rice off the field. He came off an ACL tear. Xavier Worthy has not gone to plan. Travis Kelce's getting up there in age and might retire at the end of the year. So you get like a long-term weapon for Patrick Mahomes moving forward. You may never pick as high at number 9 again. You have David Bailey off the board, Reese, Styles, and Ruben Bain off the board. Next best thing might be Jordan Tyson. The only other thing I would suggest would be Mansour Delane after trading away McDuffie and losing some corners this offseason. But I like Jordan Tyson a lot, and I would like him even more if he ends up catching balls from Patrick Mahomes. So Mansour Delane goes to the Bengals at number 10. They desperately need a corner, so you get the best corner in the draft here. Makes a lot of sense. I think they just want Caleb Downs to be there, Ruben Bain, Delane. I guess in the worst case scenario, it's like Cardinal Tate doesn't go at 7, and then it's like, I don't know, maybe they take Ruben Bain, maybe they take a corner, and like Delane's off the board, Downs is off the board, and that kind of becomes the worst case scenario. Maybe then you pivot to Francis Maianoa, who goes to the Dolphins at 11, which is great value for them if you're getting the best tackle in this class at number 11. Once again, not a sexy pick, not a flashy pick. Next year is such a developmental year for Miami and some of their young pieces going forward. Maianoa would eventually be protecting their franchise quarterback, which is probably going to come through the 2027 draft. It sucks that Malik Willis is going to get thrown into a fire, like not like a dumpster fire, but it's going to be maybe a non-competitive team next year. Wide receiver could be in play at number 11, but Tyson and Tate are off the board. I don't know how you feel about Lemon as like an X long-term, probably not great. So you take Maianoa at 11. The other guy you could think of is like Jamal McCoy, Dylan Thieneman, but like offensive tackle is so much more important, at least than safety. If you really like McCoy, you could go that route. So the Browns trade down to take Caden Proctor. Oh, I hate this. I hate this. I don't really like this for the Browns that much. So Noah goes one pick ahead, which I would be like, all right, if you move down to 12, see if you can leapfrog Miami. I don't know, Miami to take Noah. Could you offer something to Miami to move up one spot to take Noah? Because the difference between Noah and Proctor, I think, is pretty great. And Cleveland, you're taking a tackle anyway. I think Freeling could make more sense. Fano could make more sense with a little bit more versatility there. But Proctor is such more of a long-term play. I don't know if you're going to... Mekhi Lemon, I'd probably think about at number 12. Do you look at another corner like Jamon McCoy at number 12? Do you think about safety? I don't really think so here. So that's part of the trade down. Mekhi Lemon goes to the Rams at 13. I feel like there's a good chance he's going to be there for them. And I feel like that just makes a lot of sense. This was for trading out of the first round last year for the Falcons to take James Pierce Jr. You can land Mekhi Lemon, who could be your slot receiver next to Puka, Devontae Adams. And then in 2 years, he's the de facto number 2 next to Puka with Devontae Adams retiring. He could be another great target for Matthew Stafford and their next quarterback as well. I think it makes a lot of sense here, unless you just want to build a 6 secondary and you're taking Dylan Thieneman, you're taking McNeil Warren, or you're taking Jamon McCoy at 13, but you adjusted secondary enough this offseason. For Baltimore, you go Spencer Fano at 14. Now, Fano's going to be a guard. Do you just think about taking Vega Ione ahead of Fano? I would probably think about it. I mean, Baltimore, do you take down Sadiq? Because you have Sadiq, you have Andrews. He would eventually replace Andrews. He goes one pick later here to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but it gives you like a wide receiver / tight end. And then eventually your full-time tight end when Mark Andrews is gone, another weapon for Lamar Jackson, because I still don't love the receiving weapons over there in Baltimore. Maybe that's a day 2 thing. So they go Fano. I would probably go Ione or Sadiq there. So 15, Sadiq, even though the Bucs re-signed Kate Allen this offseason, you lose Mike Evans. All the top receivers are off the board. You have Emeka Buka, you have Godwin, you have McMillan, you have Kate Allen. This team needs a lot. I don't know if I would take Sadiq. I wonder if I would take one of the tier 2 edge rushers. It's a weird spot for them right now, but would you take Mesidor? Would you take Falk? Would you take, probably not Catches Howell, maybe TJ Parker? Is that a little bit high at 15? Do you like Peter Woods as high as 15? Kaden McDonald, if you want to go somebody on the D end and bump somebody, or D tackle, bump somebody to D end. CJ Allen at 15. Jamon McCoy at 15. I think there's some other routes here. Vega Ione at 15. Just like get another offensive lineman in the room. But I see the vision for taking Sadiq to still maximize Baker Mayfield. Omar Cooper to the Jets at 16. I think Peter Schrager had this one as well. So it feels like the Jets might be targeting another offensive weapon at 16. Sadiq would be fun. Mekhi Lemon if he's on the board. I mean, if they can get Jordan Tyson, I doubt they're getting Cardinal Tate at number 16. I feel like Tyson has a lower floor and Lemon than Cardinal Tate 100%. But you grab Cooper, who could be this big body number 2 next to Garrett Wilson. It fits the mold of what Muji, I guess, wants to build if they go with Cooper and Bailey at 2 and 16. Just kind of these huge athletes that can have great upside for them going forward with Geno Smith under center. Monroe Freeling to the Lions at number 17, offensive tackle. Yeah, you have him opposite side up in Sewell. He would replace Taylor Decker. They have some interior guys. They signed Cade Mays this offseason. And you're building up that offensive line again, which I think should be the play. And I think Detroit's in a good spot. You should end up with either Fano, Ione, or Freeling. One of the 3. Maybe if you like Proctor, he could be there at 17. Maybe Blake Miller as well if you really like him from Clemson. But it just feels like Detroit's going to take an offensive lineman. Dylan Thieneman going to the Vikings at 18. You got your replacement to Harrison Smith right there. I feel like that's really good value because I've seen him go like 10 to Cincinnati, 11 to Miami, maybe even 12 to Dallas if they stay there. And I feel like you're getting great value. Like if you have Thieneman, McCoy, and McNeil Warren on the board at 18, you have great options if you're Minnesota and Brian Flores. 19, you have the Carolina Panthers going Emmanuel McNeil Warren. You get him in that secondary with J.C. Horn. I haven't really seen safety mock to them a ton. I wouldn't mind them getting another corner in like Jamon McCoy, but if you feel like McNeil Warren can be also a hybrid piece for you out there that you can play them all over the field, it's probably what they need because the Panthers defense is still a work in progress. It was better last year than it was in 2024, but I think it can get better. You can take McNeil Warren there, or you go Vega Ione, which I guess can't really play center to replace Cade Mays, but protect Bryce Young. There's not really receiver. I probably wouldn't take Denzel Boston here at 19. You're not taking Eli Snowers at 19. Maybe you're probably not taking an edge rusher after signing Jalen Phillips and you have Nick Scorton. You have Derek Brown. Yeah, I feel like the secondary probably makes sense if you're not going to go offensive line. So the Browns end up this draft with Caden Proctor and Denzel Boston. Not the most exciting pieces in the world. It really isn't. I mean, Boston, I feel like a lot of people are out on. I do agree they should try to take a receiver to replace Jerry Jeudy as the one long term. If you think that could be Boston, you take him. At this range, I would just look at like Vega Ione goes to the Steelers at 21. Take Vega Ione as well. Double up on offensive lineman. I know you signed a bunch this offseason. Like, is Zion Johnson going to be on this team long term? Is Elton Jenkins going to be on this team long term? You still need to get younger on the offensive line moving forward. Heck, do you just take Ty Simpson here at number 20? Is Ty Simpson going to be that much better than Shedeur Sanders next year? Maybe not. Or Deshaun Watson. So you take Boston as another receiver threat, in which they do need. So you have Tillman, Jeudy, Harold Fannin, Boston, Judkins, Sampson. Like, it's something. So my Steelers take Vega Ione at 21. As a Steelers fan, it makes me hate the idea of Aaron Rodgers is going to be the quarterback again next year. It's actually the dumbest franchise move ever to bring back Aaron Rodgers and expect a different result, even if it's Mike McCarthy. Like, it's stupidity from them, and I'm going to hate it. But hey, Aaron Rodgers hopefully won't be back another year after next year. And now you have Vega Ione on that offensive line with Troy Fautanu, Zach Frazier, McCormick. Like, you have guys to potentially build around. Anderson, Roger Jones might not be back after next year, but you take Vega Ione. Receiver could make sense here at 21. Maybe Casey Concepcion, but like Boston's off the board, Cooper's off the board. A lot of these receivers are off the board. I would take either Jamad McCoy or Vega Ione because you lost James Pierre. I know you added Jamel Dean. You could definitely look for another corner on the younger side. Peter Woods to the Chargers at 22. Yeah, I would say so. I'm sure they would want Vega Ione, but he's off the board. You take Peter Woods, who maybe he's going a little bit later than he should at 22, and he can definitely be part of that, like multiple DT defensive line. Blake Miller to the Eagles at 23. This guy was just like reliable at Clemson, always played for them. And you might have Lane Johnson retiring soon. Jordan Mailata might retire soon. Who knows? They could definitely be a receiver team if they think they're going to trade A.J. Brown, but they did just trade for Dattavion Wicks. I mean, okay, so the Browns have 3 first-round picks in this mock, not 2. I'm silly. Okay, I like this. If you're getting Jamad McCoy in that value at 24, that is great for Cleveland. So you get McCoy, you get Boston, and you get Caden Proctor. I mean, if that was somehow Maya Noah at 12, but you could take Fano at 12 or Vega Ione at 12 over Proctor, and then you take Boston and Jamad McCoy. I like that more because they end up with Jamad McCoy, so they lose their second rounder in this mock that was part of the Cowboys trade. So this one is from the Travis Hunter trade last year. I mean, this is great value. Like, you're forming Denzel Ward, Tyson Campbell, and Jamad McCoy. I mean, I don't know how many more elite years Denzel Ward has in him, but you think McCoy could be a wide receiver, cornerback one for you one day. Zion Young to the Bears at 25. I think it makes a lot of sense for them to go defense. You could address offensive line, but a lot of these top offensive linemen are off the board. I don't know if you're going to go with like a Chase Bisonsis, like 25, kind of high, Bregnon, kind of high. Keldrick Falk to the Bills at 26. If they could figure out the money, trade this pick for Dexter Lawrence, if you could actually do it. But they take Keldrick Falk, high upside, maybe toolsy defensive lineman. Honestly, like, I remember reading mocks, making mocks a couple months ago, maybe 2 months ago. He was always going in the like first half of the first round. So the Bills grab him here at 26 with Concepcion still on the board. Max Ionicher to the Niners at 27. Yep, you can replace Trent Williams maybe long term. You get a depth piece. It's probably what they should do moving forward. Maybe TJ Parker, who I think will go in the first round, but I see hasn't been mocked yet. Christian Miller to the Texans at 28. That's just a scary defensive line. It really is. Rankins, Hunter, and Anderson. I don't know if you would take like a rotational edge rusher. Like, how many more years do you think Hunter can be like a top tier edge rusher? If it's less than 3, do you take like the upside value of TJ Parker? I still can't believe Peter Schrager had the Steelers taking TJ Parker in his mock. So the Chiefs address corner and they address wide receiver in this mock. Jordan Tyson at 9, Colton Hood at 29. Yeah, you address 2 needs, receiver and corner. Edge rusher, all right, we'll figure it out maybe on day 2 because they will have another pick in like 10 picks. So I think we have a 2-round mock. So I'm excited. I mean, if TJ Parker falls to round number 2, yeah, or Cassius Howell or somebody like that, Akeem Mesidor, that would be something else. So they take Colton Hood, who was like the CB1 with McCoy out of Tennessee last year. So the Cardinals are trading up. They're picking early in round 2. So they are trading up with the Dolphins to take Ty Simpson. It makes a lot of sense. You're taking Ty Simpson at 30. You're not taking him at number 3. You give somebody Michael LaFleur can develop. He doesn't have to start or play right away. He's an older prospect because he sat a lot at Alabama. He was great in the first half for Alabama last year, struggled in the second half, suffered some injuries, I think lost a lot of weight as well. And you can now develop him behind Minshew and Brissett. Not Hall of Famers, but hey, some veteran quarterbacks that can develop Ty Simpson, can mentor Ty Simpson, and you maybe play him not even at all in his rookie year, or you play him in year number 2, and it gives you a piece to build around moving forward. So you get Arvell Reese and you get Ty Simpson. I think that's pretty good for the first round. Like, because I would take Ty Simpson at 30. What's like the trade details? The Jets have the 33rd pick, so they could move up for sure. They have 34. So you're moving up like 4 picks to take them. I would do that, but you got to give up 94 as well. You have Akeem Mesidor going to the Patriots at 31. I mean, they have this window right now. Oh, they have a window right now and long term with Drake May, but they think they're so close, right? They were in the Super Bowl last year. Mesidor can help you out a little bit more immediately than maybe somebody like Cassius Howell, 31. Yeah, running back at number 32. So Jadarian Price, like, he's, I think, like a shoe-in to be the RB2 off the board, which is crazy because you have Jeremiah Love at Notre Dame, who's the clear RB1, and then Jadarian Price at Notre Dame, clear RB2. I think some people thought that could have been Allen and Singleton at Penn State going into the year. So you take, I just hate this. I would just take one of like Mike Washington at the end of the second round. Could you end up with that? I mean, I know he's going to fit this certain scheme offensively. I just don't think they should wait. And this feels like Clyde Edwards-Helaire 2.0. Like you just won the Super Bowl. You want to extend this window. Take a rotational offensive lineman. Take a rotational edge rusher. Take a corner here. Take Brandon Cisse. Take Chris Johnson. I just don't know if Jadarian Price is worth it here at 32. So round 2. We have C.J. Allen going to the Jets. Yes, I like that. I mean, C.J. Allen, Omar Cooper, David Bailey. That's really good value. So if you don't get Arvell Reese at 2, you can get like this 3-down linebacker for them. It was like a chess piece, a young chess piece, or the young, I guess, quarterback of the Georgia Bulldogs defense last year. Bernard goes to the Dolphins at 34. So they trade down from 30 to 34. This could have been a wide receiver. So yeah, Bernard going over Concepcion. Interesting. Malachi Lawrence to the Titans at 35. I think that's good value. You end up with Jeremiah Love and Malachi Lawrence. Take Casey Concepcion here. I think the Titans just need another receiver. Like, I don't think Wan'Dale Robinson is going to be their long-term one. And I don't think it's going to be DK or Iron Maynard as well. You have Caden McDonald going to the Raiders at 36. Yeah, I mean, signing Christian Wilkins a couple off seasons ago did not work out. Tyree Wilson might not be on this team much longer. You get Caden McDonald on that defensive line with Max Crosby. Sure, why not? Kwity Paye, Nakobe Dean, some other guys you added this offseason. Kalon Rutledge, who I think has been mocked a little bit to the Patriots earlier. He's going to the Giants here at 37. I like receiver or offensive line in round 1, in round 2. You take Rutledge and you take Caleb Downs. Not like a win for the positional value guys, but you're going to protect Jackson Dart. And that's what I want to see. You have Chase Pasantes, who might go ahead of him. We'll see, but goes to the Texans at 38. They need to keep replenishing that offensive line. So the Cowboys land TJ Parker. And Sonny Styles in this draft. I don't hate that. Because I would take TJ Parker at 20. So if he's there at 39, sure. I don't think he will be there at 39, but we'll see. You have R. Mason Thomas of the Chiefs at 40. There you go. There's another edge rusher. So you land R. Mason Thomas, probably a top 10 edge rusher in this class. You land Jordan Tyson and Colin Hood. It's pretty good. Cassius Howell to the Bengals at 41. Good value there as well. Just, I don't know. They're taking the Twilsy upside guy. I don't know. It's like Shamar Stewart all over again. Casey Concepcion to the Saints at 42. Oh my God. Is he going to go that low? It's good value. It's really good value. And you get to, so they take, who did they take earlier? Reuben Bain, and then you get a receiver at 42. I like that for New Orleans. Chris Johnson to the Dolphins at 43. They need a corner. So you get Mayanella, you get Bernard and Johnson. Yeah, I think they need to add a corner in the first 2 rounds. Brandon Cisse to the Jets at 44. Man, the Jets are really going to add a lot of talent. Because you add Cisse, Cooper, Bailey, and CJ Allen. Yeah, Bailey, Cisse, and Allen on the defense in this draft is nice. Okay, so the Ravens don't go with the Sadiq pick earlier, but they get Eli Stowers at 45. Basically what I was thinking about Sadiq. You get Jacob Rodriguez to the Buccaneers at 46. I feel like he's a shoe-in to be a round 2 pick. I think he's just day 1 ready, and that's what the Buccaneers need as a little bit of an older roster. The Colts take Anthony Hill, their first pick in the draft as a linebacker. Makes sense as well, just to go defense. Lee Hunter to the Falcons at 48, another team that has their first pick here in round number 2. I don't know if I would like Zachariah Branch, but would be a low moving cost. It's also interesting that, yeah, like Avion Terrell, not off the board. If my Steelers can get him in round number 2, I'd be jumping with joy. Mike Washington to the Vikings at 49. I kind of hate that. I know they need to add a running back. Oh, this team needs to add a lot of other things as well. Like, I know, like Pregnon here at 49, maybe. Derek Moore to the Lions at 50. Somebody else on that defensive line, or front 7, you went with, I think they got Fano earlier in this mock. Caleb Lomu to the Panthers at 51. I remember when he was mocked in the top 20, a little bit of a slide there, but good value. Like, they got good value, I think, on Rasheed Walker this offseason. Lomu's good value there. Oh, man, I need the Steelers to leapfrog the Packers to take Avion Terrell. I would have loved that for them, even though it's a new regime. It's Omar Khan, not Kevin Colbert, but they have been so bad at drafting corners. They take Zachariah Branch at 53. Get ready to own screens, buddy. That's probably what Aaron Rodgers needs, honestly. It's just another screen guy. 5'9", 177. We'll see if that works out. Oscar Delp, tight end, going to the Eagles. Yeah, I guess Goddard might not be on this team long term. I don't know if I've really seen Delp as like the third tight end off the board. Chargers get really good value with Bregnon there at 55. You got Barham here to the Jaguars at 56. Not too familiar with him. I feel like this might be the first time I've heard of him in the first 2 rounds. So we'll see the Jaguars, because this is their first pick in the draft as well from the Travis Hunter trade. You have Stukes, a safety prospect, going to the Bears there at 57. I mean, you lost so many safeties this offseason. McNeil Warren could be in play for them in the late part of the first round, so that could make sense. Gabe Jacobs here, a defensive lineman from Illinois, going to the 49ers. I also think D-line could be in play in round 1. You get one in round 2, that's great. Oh my God, D'Angelo Ponds in that secondary. Yeah, that'd be kind of sick with Stingley and Pietro. You signed Reed Blankenship. Oh, wow. That's a fun secondary. That's a fun secondary with D'Angelo Ponds. So Logan Jones, center to the Bears, makes a lot of sense with Drew Dahlman retiring. I know they got Garrett Bradbury, get that depth piece. Josiah Trotter to the Rams at 61. I wonder if, I guess Kyle Lewis might not go that high. Jennings Dunker could make sense. And then Caleb Banks, that's great value at 62. I mean, the injuries there, like this is their first pick as well. They lose John Franklin Myers. If he could stay healthy, this is like the steal of the draft so far. But it's a big if. Chris Brazell to the Patriots at 63. They should probably draft a receiver. I feel like they haven't really hit on these round 2 ones or round 1 receivers. Different, I guess, regime now. It's kind of. And then you Malik Muhammad, the corner from Seattle at 64. Yeah, I would probably take a corner at 32 over Price, but if you're going to get Muhammad at 64, that's what they need to address. So that is Mel Kiper's 2-round mock draft. I believe their final mock draft of the 2026 draft cycle. Let me know what you guys think down below. Drop a thumbs up if you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure you subscribe. I'll be doing my final mock for the draft as well. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.